Revelations from my man cave. I'm Jeff Banks from Property Portfolio Solutions, and if you've been following us on Facebook, you will have seen this diagram posted recently about the win a client of ours had, and it was a big win, $250,000. So let's look at some of the aspects of this deal that go with our definitions that we've been putting on our YouTube channel. Now, one, we've got our cash here that our client put in, $160,000. That was our deposit. It was the deposit on the land. It was also the amount of money that the bank said that the client had to put in to satisfy the LVR, the loan to valuation ratio. We leveraged this amount of money, and that when we had finally built the property, we expected the property to be worth this much more than what it had cost us to build it. Now that is our equity uplift, our projected uplift. This client, in fact, got a significantly higher uplift and was laughing all the way to the bank. Now this client decided to sell this property at this particular point because the return on investment here, or the opportunity cost of using this much money, plus the cash that we had here, allowed that client to go and do something else. Now, when you're coming to this sort of thing, we look at where was the LVR? The LVR was at this point here. When the bank went and did their valuation, they did their valuation based on the land value plus the construction cost. So they don't use the projected profit because they're like us, their crystal ball isn't as good as actual history, but they sat down, they worked out that this was our 80%, this was our LVR, we put in $160,000. In fact, I think this client put in a little bit more than 20%. Because they had the ability to do it. Now this could have been cash that they had in availability, or it could have been equity in other assets that they wanted to use to leverage the bank's money against the profit that they were going to make. Now this was a particularly good one, and yes, these happen from time to time. Yes, this client had an absolute windfall. It doesn't happen all the time, but if I was just to go and buy a property at this particular point here, here's where my growth would come from. Now, because I've bitten the bullet, I've used my money to construct a property that's then uplifted. If I'd only made the uplift amount, I'd have been working from here, not here, which is what I would have, my borrowing capacity allowed me to buy. But because I actually had the windfall, I'm actually now starting from up here. So if I'm earning a 5% return on my capital as a capital gain, then I'm starting up here, not here, and certainly not from here, and definitely not from here. That's what leverage is all about. That's what we try and do to bring clients to their goals as they're going along. I'm Jeff Banks from Property Portfolio Solutions, where your legacy, a legacy like this, is our inspiration.